Hey guys, welcome to Reference Talkies. We talk to freelancers, agency owners, and clients and dig out stories that could inspire other freelancers and agency owners. Today, we have with me Abhishek of CodeBuddy. He has been running his agency for 4 years now, and we'll listen to his story and see how he scaled his agency from zero to $1 million in revenue in under 4 years. I've known Abhishek for all this while that he's been running his agency and looked at his story very closely and thought it would be inspiring for a lot of you guys listening to this. So Abhishek, welcome to Reference Talkies, and I'm so glad that we are formally bringing your story out to a larger audience. So yeah, I would want to learn quickly about what your agency does, how big is it, where are you guys located, and where are your clients located?
First of all, thanks a lot, Aman, for having me here. Honestly, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna inspire people, but of course, I'll try to be honest and share what happened in the past. Even if it can inspire, one or two people also, I think this is a great platform for them to learn from here. Now, coming back to your question, I think we are based out of Kolkata. We are a service-based company, mostly servicing clients in the web development, app development, and custom software development. Our team size is at the moment 35 plus. 3 to 4 people keeps on joining and leaving every month or every quarter. So hard to give you an exact number on that. But at the moment, we are 35 plus. Looking to grow this organization into a 50 plus at least by this end of year. Let's hope, but hiring has always been a challenging. So that, if you ask for our core expertise, it's mostly in the insurtech and edtech industry. That's where we have worked with a lot of clients and companies. We have also worked with legal tech companies, build really good legal tech product, which is extremely critical from the handling the crucial data points as well for clients in US. So we are trying to build our expertise in those areas. If you talk about the domains not the industry, but the type of projects that you have built, we have a very strong expertise in SaaS based projects. We have built like reference is a SaaS. I think it's a SaaS based tool to some extent, but I think we have also built a lot of SaaS based tools and they have been running successfully so far for all our clients. So that's
Nice.
a small introduction about it.
Right. So Abhishek, help me understand how did this start? What did you do before this agency? And what led you to build an agency?
So when I was in my college, I did a startup and did a product-based company. Right after my college, I got selected in NASCOM. It was called Tootle at that time. It was a marketplace for freelancers based on these geolocations. And we had around 150K plus users. We raised a seed round as well, and we started to generate some revenue as well. But it wasn't enough for us to survive, and we were not able to raise further rounds. We got an acqui-hire offer from a company based in Mumbai, and they were willing to acquire our product and hire me and my partner at a very handsome package in 2018. But me and my partner decided that no, we don't want to do job. We always had this knack for entrepreneurship, and we thought of doing something of our own. But at that time, because our product was not able to run in the market and we did not have enough funds to survive that, we decided to do things which we are good at. So we came back to freelancing and started this agency. It was just two of us at that time in 2018. We didn't know that we'll come this far, honestly, but I think that eventually happened over that period of time. I was very scared when COVID happened because we were very small before COVID. We were just a team of 12 people. I remember that very well. And I was like, we won't be able to pull it off during COVID, remote work and all. We were not very familiar with that. But again, luckily it happened, and that turns out to be a blessing in disguise for us. So I think, yeah,
Right.
that's
So
a
are you
brief.
guys still remote, or are you guys back to office and everybody's working from office?
Well, right now I'm at office, but we are hybrid. I think we do not push our employees to come to office. The offices are open all the 5 days. If anybody wants to come, they can come. But if they want to work remotely, we prefer that they come once in a week so that we have a good team bonding session. Because at the end of the day, you need people around you to gel with, right? You just cannot work in your system. There are certain people who don't need that, even they have a very happening life, but not all. So I think it's very important to meet your employees, the people you work with, to understand. So we believe in hybrid culture. The offices are open, but we do not push them to come for more than once in a week.
Right. So I remember you started in April 2018. Tell me more about your first three clients. How did you win these first three clients? And what was the source of the lead? And if you could tell me more about what size of clients are these in terms of dollar value?
Well, the first two clients were clearly from the reference. They were like, I used to know them very well from the past, and they've been referred to me by very close friends and people in the industry. I know them. Another client that I got was from Upwork. At that time, we used to rely a lot on Upwork. It's a marketplace again for freelancers, where you can find clients who are from different abroad locations. We had that client from US. It wasn't a very high paying job but eventually we took that project because we needed at that time. We wanted to build our trust, because why would somebody trust a newbie in the market, right, when they're already existing players? So we had to build that trust, and we worked at a very lower price at that time. We tried to stay on the top of every issue. We ensure that communication stays seamless. There's no hiccups in launching out their products, or we had to take care in fact of a very small details, because when you have nothing, all you can do is take care of small details, and you build on the top of it slowly, and that's where you start to create an impact, and people will start trusting you with these things. So I think that eventually happened, and luckily one references led to another, and then it led to another. Not just that, our client also stayed with us for long. So the client, it wasn't the first three client, but the first five client, among them, this one client is still with us till date.
So you mentioned, out of the first three clients, two came through referrals. Of the clients that you have today, how many would you say came through referrals?
I would say maximum, if I have to give you in terms of percentages or number, I would say 50 to 60% are coming through referrals. In fact, not just referral, the existing clients bring in more business. So for example, let's say you are one of the clients. For example, just trying to give you an example with this.
Sure.
You have a product that you want me to build. Once we have built that, you have some other product, we want to add an additional thing in the existing product. Because the work that we try to do, we deliver it up to their expectations. They always come back to us to even make any enhancement or provide them further support, or refer it to the other people. I think that has been the mantra for, because this is a service business. All it matters is their experience, right? You're not selling any product, and the experiences vary from people to people, so you have to stay on the top of it. So I think this has been very great for us to listen from our clients that they are referring us to other people.
Got it. So now help me understand, when you're trying to scale, so quickly from 0 to 1 million, you obviously need to focus a lot. And we keep seeing this in product companies at least, right? With respect to services companies, what do you think you focused on? What did you say no to? And when did you realize that you need to say no to?
I think the most important focus that we do at this stage is communication. I think that is the root cause of all the problem, because intentions are always right with everybody. It's just that they are not able to communicate well. So we focus on that a lot. We ensure that the communications are being made very clear to our clients and on time, so that they can make their decisions accordingly. And now, to answer your next question, what do you say no to? I think a lot of things, but the most primary thing is we have been fortunate enough to get a lot of opportunity to work with a lot of clients. So even more than that, we had bandwidth for. So we had to choose our clients very carefully, and we had to unfortunately say no to a lot of clients, because if we start saying yes to everyone, and we know that we may not be able to serve them, it can be for various.
So precisely here, right? I want to understand. Give me an example of a client that you said no to, before starting the project, or immediately starting, after starting. And when did you realize that, okay, this is something I shouldn't do?
Yeah, I think two things I would say. One was the client who came to us with an existing system, and the system was not in a very good situation, and there were a lot of issues, and the client was pushing the reason to do the reason the client came to us is he wants us to take over the project and fix the system. but the system was not, the base architecture of the system was not at all in a position that we can do anything on the top of it. Even if we do anything, that would be temporary and will not last. We agreed to that. We said that, but in parallel, you should build a new system, because that's not going to last forever, and it's going to create a lot of problem. Because right now it's just, I don't know how is it even working. I don't even know that. Like, that was very not a. I don't criticize generally that this is not a good quality code or this is not a good project, but that was actually not something that we were interested in doing. So we had to politely deny them and tell them that no, this is something that we cannot work with, because our developers and our team was not very comfortable getting into this messy code. And
So
of course,
did you realize this after you signed up the client, or did you realize even before you signed them up?
we always check the quality of the existing code before we sign up any client, because if we are in, we are completely in. We don't, even if we are in and we later realize, we have to stick to our commitment. We never fall back on
So
it.
have you had cases where you had to let go of a client after signing them up for whatever reason?
Yes, it happened once or twice, because there was issues in understanding, there were issues in expectations, and it's better to let them go, because at the end of the day, when you're running a service agency, as I said earlier, what matters is their experience. One bad experience and you're doomed, in my opinion.
But wouldn't you be tempted to, actually keep the client going, because, it's helping pay a couple of, teammates salaries, right? I mean, that is how services business run. So wouldn't you be tempted to just keep them running and maybe, let them go after a few months? I have seen this with a lot of agencies.
Yeah, I think I keep my clients first, but I think I have to keep my employees even beyond, above my clients at some points, because if my employees are happy, they will ensure that my clients are happy. I can take care of one or two or three clients, but eventually employees has to take care of the number of clients. So my priority is to take care of my employees, and they along with me will take care of my clients. Now they were not happy with these projects, because the client was not good at understanding things, or was not able to communicate well, or the code was not clean. I don't know, there can be multiple reasons, I cannot pinpoint at one, because different projects, different scenarios. So I always talk to my team, and I always understand, are you happy working in this project? If they say yes, they are happy. We had an opportunity. There was a client who raised 10 millions of dollars of funding. They had enough money in the bank. They could have even if you would have increased our price, they would have happily paid us. In fact, I should not say this publicly out loud, but they literally begged us to stay. But they did, and we didn't stay because our team was not comfortable working with them, because they were making the production launches on weekends, and there was no beta testing done before launch. There was no proper setup done. So for those reasons, we try to convince them to make all these arrangements. We said that we are going to take the charge of these things and we'll do it for you. We will not charge anything extra for that. They still didn't understand, because the founding member were non-technical, and they were not able to understand the benefits of using these things. So ultimately we decided that no, this may give you initially some revenue to support your team, but in the end it's going to fall back, and then it's going to come down all on you, and we don't want to be in that spot. So
Abhishek, I see you talking a lot about team and team's experience and are they happy, etc. Do you think this has given you results? I mean, how, generally service companies have a bad attrition rate as compared to, say, a product company, right? And generally during pandemic, the salaries were, growing at a very, very fast pace. So where do you think this really helped you, thinking so much about employees and teammates, etc.?
I think our attrition rate is very low, extremely low, even considering the salary war that is happening on the market. I think it's under control now because of all the layoff that is being happening. But 6 months back, if you go, none of our employees leave. Especially the core team is still there. I think the only regret I had is that one employee left in the September last year. That was the only one, but none of them else leave. I think he also had served his period, of 3 years with our company. He was with us from day one, but I think no other employees has left. I think they don't feel like they're working for somebody else. I think they still feel like they're the part of the team, and we have built that culture, and we have complete transparency what's happening in the company. Everyone has an equal say. It's not that you're a junior or a senior employee, so you cannot say. You can say, and we'll collectively decide what needs to be done. Of course, there is proper hierarchy that has been set up as well. But I think we want to give voice to everyone because the real issues comes from the people who are actually working at the ground level.
So, and help me again understand on your location, right? You're based out of Kolkata. From what I understand, most of your clients are outside India. Does this work against you? I mean, people outside India generally know Bangalore or Bombay, as established cities for IT services, or maybe a Pune, but Kolkata doesn't look like a obvious choice. Has this ever hampered you in terms of winning a client?
No, for the clients, we are Indians. They don't look into us as from Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, like that. Once they start working with you, then they ask which part of the India and all blah blah blah. But I think in the initially, it's all about okay, you are an Indian. At least to me, the clients that I have experiences with. So I don't think that has ever been a problem.
Now, coming to problems, how challenging has been collecting payments? And help me understand again between India and US and all of your clients as a whole. Do you think have you ever lost money with a client because you were not able to collect payments on time, or do you generally have to constantly bug them saying yeah, please pay, please pay, please pay, whatever, right? So has that been a problem?
Honestly, no. I think we've been fortunate enough to identify such clients, and as I said, we politely deny to work with them if we figure out something like that. We believe that everyone is making an effort and they should appreciate it and they should pay us on time. That has been the case with majority of our clients. There has been scenario when they have to pay us via some payment gateways or payment processors or tools like PayPal and all, where we had to lose a lot of money on commissions, right? But thanks to reference, now that we are collecting from our 2 to 3
Thanks for that plug, yeah.
from
Yeah,
कितना अच्छा
I was
plugin था
expecting
भैया,
that.
आप फ्लो तोड़ दिए, इतना अच्छा plugin था, रुकिए वापस से कट करके,
नहीं,
इतना
continue
बढ़िया
रखो, कोई problem नहीं, continue रखो, I'll push this also.
Yeah, so we used to collect payment via PayPal, and they used to deduct a lot of commissions because the client were not comfortable doing the wire transfer. They wanted to pay via credit card. So I think that's where your product came into the picture, and a reference helped us to collect payment from them on. So I think, yeah, so far everything is smooth and seamless.
Okay, so help me understand, you've talked about winning referrals from clients, etc., right? When do you really know if the client is happy? Because I think clients have a tough time giving honest feedbacks to service providers, right? I mean, because they have to keep a long-term relation with them. So they cannot be really blunt saying, okay, this is not nice, but I still have to stick with you because I cannot take this project elsewhere in middle of whatever is happening. So when do you really know that they are happy versus they are just about neutral versus they are having a very bad experience with you?
So again, not one thing can decide that. Multiple things will be factored in to calculate this. Since we were talking about collecting payment, if their payments are on time, I think they are happy. Otherwise, they will hesitate to make a payment because they may not realize they are not happy during the entire month. But at the end of the month, when they have to make the payment, they will raise a concern. So I think
So
that's
payment is
the
a
first
major
thing.
signal. Yeah, payment is a major signal. And
One of the major signals. One of them.
What else? How have you seen clients communicate otherwise to you that they are unhappy or happy?
See, again, because all the clients are long-term clients, like they've been with us for more than a year or so, I think it may happen that at the beginning of the year they are happy, but mid-year they are not happy because of some reasons. And what we generally do, we from the management side, we communicate with our client on quarterly basis. We go and talk to them. Like for example, I don't handle all the client personally, but what I do and ensure is I go and on a meet with the client where my team is not there, and I talk to the clients directly, and I try to understand, are you happy? Is there anything that is bothering you? Do you want me to talk to the resources or development team that can be improved on certain areas, or anything that can be done to make this more efficient? So I personally take their feedback, and I also ask them for their video testimonial. If the client is happy to give you a video testimonial, that means they're really happy. Otherwise, they'll not make an effort like that. Plus, we ask them to give their review on Clutch, and it's a very tedious process. It's not so easy. There's a lot of questionnaire. They also call you to verify and all these things. So I think these things, and that's just not it. I also take feedback from the team on regular basis. So we send the weekly status report to all our client at the end of the week. In that, before sending the weekly status report, I verify all the weekly status report and I talk to the team, is client happy? Because you get the signals when you're talking to the client on weekly basis, right? You get some signals that is being, so I think again, as I said, payment is one of the critical factor, but it's not the only factor. It may happen client is going through some financial issues, so the payments are getting delayed. So I cannot say that the team is not doing a good job at that. I think it's just one of the thing, but other things also comes into the play and create a significant impact. So you have to keep your eyes open and trust your eyes. I think that's the most important.
So Abhishek, I want to now talk about failures. I'm sure in the last 4 years you've taken multiple initiatives, and some of them would have failed. Like getting into a new technology, or trying a new method to hire people, trying a new source of leads. Tell me a few examples of things that you've tried but did not work out.
I think things that did not work out that we tried. We try to hire like a remote sales team. That did not work for us, I think. But I think that did not work for us primary because we did not have enough bandwidth to take more business at that time. Hiring has always been challenging. We tried to went to universities to recruit on-campus students. That also did not work because we had to train them a lot, and we have to filter from a lot of students just to find few. I think these two things did not work very well for us. Uh, we also try to get into other technologies like blockchain, Web 3.0, machine learning, AI. Honestly, we were not very successful because we didn't put our 100% there. We believe that we have more things to do in our current tech stack that we are currently working on. It has to be more stabilized a bit. So I think once these areas gets stabilized, I think we will be focusing on them again. But yeah, I don't think anything is there.
So what do you think, when you have to scale from say $1 million to let's say $2 million, right? What will be the most challenging thing for you? What do you think? Are there things that you're scared about, saying this is like an unknown for me, or things that you already know is going to be challenging?
For every company you talk to, Naman, I'm sure there will be many in the coming days. You'll find hiring is the constant problem everyone has. So that is going to be the biggest concern for any entrepreneur nowadays. In fact, I think whatever the success we have, I just owe 10% or maybe 5% of it, but the 90% of it is because of the team that is working out there. And it's more important for us to hire the right set of people. You might find a lot of developers, engineers, designers, but you need to understand that you only have to hire such people who align with your vision and your frequency. Otherwise they'll not stick with you. They leave within 6 or 12 months, and then you have to replace it with someone. Eventually it's going to happen. It's inevitable once you reach a certain threshold value. But I think at this stage we can still manage to hire at least 15-20 more people whom we can keep very close to us, and ensure that for them to stay with us for a longer time. So I think that is one of the most critical aspect. Another thing is of course this uncertainties like that we are all are not aware of, like COVID and other issues, like maybe the recessions which may be coming out in the next few months. I'm not sure about that, but I've been hearing some stuff about that on the internet, and with few of my clients they're also having some issues. There were some revenue shortfall for some big clients that we work with. I cannot name them at the moment. So these are the uncertainties I'm little concerned about. But I don't think apart from that there's anything that is bothering. Of course there is a fear, there is always a concern that you may not be able to deliver up to the expectation, because your revenue has to constantly grow, and it has to grow on exponential level for you to keep your team and yourself motivated enough. Sometimes it may not happen, which is fine, but we have to analyze where did things go wrong. But at the moment I don't see anything apart from these two factors.
Sure. Abhishek, last question. I want to understand more about how your funnel looks like. So far, how many leads do you generally get in a month or a quarter? And how many are you able to actually demo to or talk to them for a second time? and how many are you actually converting into a paying client? So if you had to give me like a ballpark figure here.
To be very honest, I don't have any numbers, but still, let me think. I think uh, we are getting around roughly 1 to 2 leads every day on the working day. So I think I could say 30 to 40 leads every month. And to be very honest, we don't take them all seriously. Few of them really gets our attention, which the primary reason for that is again two. One is the bandwidth issue, and another one is we really want to associate ourselves with a project where we believe we can contribute the most. Otherwise, what's the point of them hiring us? So I think with that we do multiple round of discussions with them. We create the business requirement document. We understand their expectations, and once we see that yes, this is the company where we can fit in and deliver our best, we get after them a lot, and because we know that this is where we can contribute significantly, and we try to convince them and tell them and show them what we have done and what we can do. And I think that's pretty visible to them after a certain point of time, and then we get associated.
Perfect, Abhishek. That's about it for now from me, and it was great having you here. And hope your story, especially about your focus and how you chosen your clients, hope it inspires a lot many people who are trying to scale their agency. Thank you so much for being on the show.